Hey, what's up guys? It's been a while. I made a video. I'm scruffy as shit. Just woke up not too long ago today, and I feel like what I've come to is, the ending part of a confusion that has been going on in my life right now. So to backtrack a bit, a couple months ago I made a video about my goal being this year to make six figures, 100K, right? I believe I mentioned it was for my dream car, the Skyline GTR. But it's June now, 6 months in, and I'm nowhere near it. Not even half, 50K. But the reason I'm making this video is not to make excuses of why I don't have that. The reason I'm making it is because I just changed my approach. Go figure. I changed my approach to my whole plan of how I want to go about this whole journey of making money, being successful, healthy, etc., self-improvement. Alright, so to begin, first of all, I just want to acknowledge, that everything I said about the insurance business, I still attest to it. It's one of the greatest businesses out there, I believe, at this time that we live in, because you're able to go in as a complete newbie, somebody who didn't even graduate high school, and you have a very good chance at making six figures in 1 year. Now, anybody who knows about the business, they see people around them doing this all the time. I just came from a jam session 3 days ago. It was like a company. They have their, what do you call it? Just like awards and medals and acknowledgments of who did what. There's like 50, 60 people in the room, and how many? I think over 10, 15 were up there for people who made over 200K. That's 200K just writing business. And I think, I forgot exactly number it was, but there's a lot of people making over 100K. That's all I'm going to say, okay? It's pretty easy. Now, does that mean you don't have to work hard? Of course not. Working hard is given. That's already fucking mandatory. That goes without saying. You have to bust your ass 60, 80 hours a week and really put your time and effort into the business. That's already given. When I say easy, I mean that the probability of it happening is pretty high. Okay? If you start any job anywhere else now, the probability of you making 100K in the first year is almost zero, because they'll tell you your salary is 36K a year. If you start a business, the rate of failure is pretty high for most people, and blah, 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 on and on. But in the insurance business, in the commission world, they'll tell you this many numbers you hit, this many houses you go to, and on a weekly basis, if you do this, if you can have the energy and the drive to do this consistently over the 12 months, you're going to be pretty damn close to 100K, because it's shown, it's proven, A good place to go to see all these numbers is Alex Iabiwan. I think that's how you pronounce his name. He's a really good agent. He has all these numbers. He's been in the business for 20 years. He has all these numbers. He shows how the business works. It's really cool. Shout out to him. Anyways, so I just wanted to put that out there, that it's easy. It's very doable. I know that if I live and breathe this business, all I do is, from the time I wake up to the time I fall asleep at night, all I'm doing is grinding at it. I'm pretty damn sure I'm gonna make well over 100K. So what is the big deal then? Why am I making this video? The reason I'm not being able to do that is because of my distractions. Okay? What I mean by that is, I am going through a time where I'm not really sure if this whole thing is for me. This might sound like a little bit, cocky, or somebody who just saying things he can't prove. But let me just paint a picture. So, I'm right now as an agent, right? Let's say I'm making 100K. I'm putting it all in, making 100K. A year or two from now, let's say I go to manager, because after you do that consistently in the insurance world, you just get put up to manager. There's no little things like, oh, you've been here for 5 years, man, I think you should take the... It's nothing like that. If you hit the numbers, you're manager instantly from next month. If you start not hitting the numbers, then you get demoted down again. That's how it works, because it's commission. It's all by the numbers, right? So then I'll be manager, and I would have a team of people, and let's say I'll be making about 150 to 200K max, around that place. After that, average in my office, in my company, 3 to 5 years, you become MGA. What is that called? It's you're head of that office. And for that person, you make anywhere from 280 to 350K, which is really good. 350K a year. I'm going to be age about 27, 28. It's pretty fucking good, right? Everything's beautiful. That idea is very good. So the problem with that is this. If I go that direction, I'm going to be spending about close to 90 to 110 hours a week in the business. Why? Because that's how it works. And as an agent, to be really successful, you have to put at least 60 to 70 hours a week. Okay? No more 40 hours a week. That shit doesn't really work. 40 hours a week is just a bare minimum. 60 to 70 hours to be successful, making close to 6 figures or even more, depending on how your skills are. But other than that, time is all it is. Effort and time, if you put into it, the results are going to come, unless you're retarded. So that's agent. Manager, a bit more hours. Okay? They don't really have this on the books, but my manager, he comes in the office 9 a.m. and then he leaves the field at about 9 p.m. at night. That's his schedule set. But I'm pretty sure he gets home like 11 because he lives a little far, and 9 p.m. is when the last appointment is set. You go to them and you close them down. Given that you close them down, it takes over an hour, right? So that's 10:30 right there. Then you drive back, whatever the case may be. And then there's paperwork he does when he gets home for all the people, not just him. So there's a lot of things that get into it. And as a top of the office person, you're spending well over 80, 90 hours a week. That's about 15-hour shifts a day. Now, how does that 350K a year sound? Still not bad. I'm not throwing darts at anybody who's doing this, because that's still, you're well above most people's life. Most people, a lot of people are working 2 jobs, and one is like flipping burgers, the other one's like flipping pizzas, whatever it is. But, this is way better than doing anything, many other shit, because it's performance based. You feel good about what you're doing, and you manage a team, you have leadership and all that good stuff that comes along with it. But I'm not too sure if I want that. I'm not too sure if I want to spend 15 hours a day every single week, every single month to hit my numbers. Maybe it's personal. Part of me wants a life that I can go back home to visit my family. Not just once a year, but maybe 4 or 5 times a year. I want to read more books. Different books, different variety of books, different ideas. I want to spend more time with myself. Maybe play an instrument. Spend some more time with the guitar. Whatever the case is, guys, when you're in this business and you really want to be successful, everything has to be put towards this. And I mean, really want to be successful, right? Like over 6 figures and up as an agent, and 300K and over as a manager. I've been reading books like this. Just wanted to share just one. Relentless. This shit is fucking steroids, okay? I'll just share one part that I already marked, and it's fucking insane. He says one of the mandatory things. By the way, this guy, whatchamacallit, he trained famous basketball players, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and then he wrote the book depending on the things, differences he saw in the very top 1% of the people. Probably 0.1, because Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant is not just 1%, they're probably higher than that. Anyways, one of the parts he says, you don't have to love the work, but you're addicted to the results. You rather be feared than be liked. Fucking amazing book. I love this book because it resonates with a lot of the mindset that I have, because I'm the type of person that many times I find myself like, okay, fuck everything. Fuck Facebook, fuck all my friends, everything. I don't give a shit. All I want is gonna do the thing I need to do to get to where I want, and fuck everybody else. So this book really works well at that, and it's perfect if you know exactly where you're going. You see that end result and you love it. As for me, I can picture myself in the end result. 5 years from now, I could be in a place that's making about 300K a year. And I'm not drooling over it. You see the problem there? The contrast between me now and there is very big. I'm barely making 3K a month right now. 300K a year? I should be drooling over that and that lifestyle, but I'm not. I'm not that, I'm not too fond of that lifestyle as of now. So what does this come down to? This is what my new approach is going to be, okay? Since I want a lifestyle where I have more freedom to do me and just be on the blink of things, this is my new approach, and I think it's fucking fantastic. And I have Alex Ayuban to, back me up with this. So I'm going to do this part-time, 10 to 15 hours a week, okay? I'm going to vacation soon in about 2 weeks, so not really starting now. When I come back, I'm going to propose this, because 2 other people in my office is already doing this. They do this part-time. They write pretty good business for the amount they spend. They don't come to the office, because 2 days a week is office. 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. you come in and you book appointments. Then you go in the field the other days to see the people to make the sale, right? They don't even come to the office. They make the calls from their home, and because they do this part-time. And that's what I'm going to do. 10 to 15 hours. I'm going to be writing enough business to pay my bills. And just do the minimum, not the minimum, but do what's required to make enough money just above, to pay my bills and have some entertainment. Now, this may sound like I'm settling, like, oh my God, man, this is another case, like the 99% of the people who's just going to wander around, be comfortable. But it's not really that. And I'll tell you why. The 80-20 rule really applies to the insurance business, right? So for that, let's say you spend 20 hours a week, okay? You're going to get some results, because in 20 hours, the people you see and you book, you're going to go to see the people that shows the most promise. So I made this video before about this. People who have a whole family, mom and dad is home. They're both working. They may not have coverage right now. They seem reasonable people. You go see them. When you're working like 50, 60 hours, that's when you're kind of like grinding your gears, because this is when you're seeing everybody, I'm door knocking everybody. I'm seeing that mother who is like fucking, like a single mother, young, can't even pay her rent. I'm trying to force insurance down her throat. I'm seeing everybody. I'm not going to be seeing those people when I'm being efficient, right? So it's like a little U. 20 hours, 15, 20 hours, you're going to get good results for the time you put in. 50 to 60 hours, you're going to be grinding your wheels a bit. But if you put like 80 to 100 hours, you're going to be seeing tremendous results. That's the 6-figure type shit. I'm going to go to the other side. It doesn't make sense to linger in the middle, because then I'm miserable, not getting type of result that I want for the amount of time I'm putting in. So 15 to 20 hours a week, I'm going to be putting in to bring in about 4,000 ALP. That should result in about $1,500 to $2,000 a month. Perfect. I'm grateful and glad and real proud of myself to be able to be in a place where my bills are really low. Okay, I have an apartment here. I have a car. I have car insurance. I have life insurance on me. I have a good amount of bills, and it doesn't pass $1,000, and that's due to the way it worked out with the apartment, as well as my values, right? My eating is very cheap because I go full healthy. I don't buy almost no meal. These days, 1 or 2 meals I buy outside because, if I get too late cooking and stuff, but that's about it. Most weeks I buy nothing outside. I always cook my food, and I'm used to that. I like it. I like it like that. I like what I make. And the end. And it's cheap because I make my own food. I cook rice, I make chicken, and I buy eggs from Costco, and then just vegetables, and then I just got a juicer. That's it, done. I just invest on shit that I really like. Reverse osmosis water, and I have a juicer to juice. Anyways, so my values let me have my bills low while still having a pretty good lifestyle in terms of health, and then which allows me to bring in $1,500 does all my bills, and then I'll still have like a couple $100 to entertainment, whatever I do, maybe watch a movie here and there, take my girlfriend to dinner, but that's about it. Now you might be thinking, so what the fuck are you gonna do with the rest of the time? Well, before I get into that, I want to show you my other option, which I'm really liking. It's pretty much the same thing, 15 to 20 hours, or what this guy called Mark, he does this in my office. He has a quota, the amount of business he has to write for a month for him to be able to stay out of the office. Meaning that if he writes below that, he has to come in for 4 nights and stuff like that, because then they take it as that he needs help. So what he has as a quota is 4,000, I think 4 or 5,000, something like that, of business he has to write per month. Now, the reason I love this idea more is because our bonus in the business, and I believe it works like that with every other agency as well, it works per week. So, for example, not to make anything complicated, just so you guys understand why I'm going to, go for this approach first before I go into the 15, 20 hour a week to my manager, is because the bonus works like this. If you write $1,000 of business in that week, which is something very easy to do, it's like one sale, then your bonus for that week is 6% of that $1,000. So that's $60, right? If you write 2,000, it's 8%. If you write 3,000, it's 12%. If you write 4,000, it's 15%. So in other words, if you write $1,000 a week, you will make less money for that month compared to if you write $4,000 in the first week and then write nothing else in the rest of the month, because that week you're gonna get 15% of 4% instead of just getting 6%, which you'd get for the other side. Make sense? So I want to make that approach first. Like, hey, just give me a quota. I'm gonna make my quota is $4,000 or $5,000 for that month. Once I hit that, I'm not coming to the office. I'm not going in the field. It's a pretty good deal because they get what they, like an average agent would do, but I just make it efficient for me. That way, now this is something I am drooling over because it just fucking sounds so awesome. That means in the beginning of the month comes, I get my fucking gears ready and I, plot off everything. I plot down, get the leads, plot down where I'm gonna go, everything efficient, perfect, and I just go fucking hard. Maybe I will do a 100-hour week or an 80-hour week in the first week, whatever it takes. I'm gonna write 4,000, 5,000, maybe even more for that first week, and then bam, done. 3 weeks left of nothing. Vacation. And I just made more than my girlfriend makes working 40, 50 hours at her job. She makes $1,600 a month working a 40-hour job that pays $13 an hour, right? I don't know why I'm giving her all the information, but who the fuck cares? I'm just showing an example how this business is still fucking amazing. This lets you have so much freedom if you know how to structure it properly, like I'm putting it up. Anyways, so that's my plan. And so once that works, now to get into where is this all going? What is my end result then, right? If that's not my end result and that's not what I'm drooling over, what am I drooling over? And the answer is, I do not have an end result pinpointed. I'm not too sure exactly where I'm going, and I think that's all right. And the reason being is, we live in a time where things are so fast, right? The common saying goes that at this time, a guy gets out of high school and he's going into college for a specific degree. A lot of times, by the time he comes out of college 4 years from now, that degree doesn't even exist. That work has already been automated. We're flowing through so much information at such a speed that it doesn't really make sense to pinpoint an exact target. I know this is going against many other success books that I read all the time, that you gotta know exactly what you want, but I think it's important to just know the direction, as Elliot Hull says. Know the direction you're going and the approach you have, and then work towards it. And as of now, once I have that type of system come in and my bills are paid off and I have so much free time to work on me, I will work on me. And what that looks like is to just be in the blink of time. Just my heartbeat. Read books. Watch videos. Different ideas, different seminars. Join groups. Meet people. Let my flow of creativity flow through. Creativity is the word, not passion, not love. It's creativity. Because this is what makes us human. We have time to reflect and think and I'm not saying to be delusional. I'm not gonna sit down, play video games, and jack off. I'm saying read different ideas, see what I like, get into technology a bit more. That's something personal for me, because I said, like, fuck it, I don't need Instagram and all that shit, but it's kind of watching all these people who are 50 years old, like Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, all these successful people, learning how to do like Tumblr, Twitter, all this stuff, and using it for their business, kind of makes me feel guilty for being a 23-year-old and not getting into it, just because, I'm not a social person in the media. I want to get into social media, start putting up some blogs, about what I feel coming through me, what I have to share personally in my life, and just sharing the journey, because that's what it's all about nowadays. You share what you're doing, you don't have to go too crazy, and take action. Like I said, I'm not delusional. I know if nothing's gonna happen if I'm just sitting here in my little room reading books. I'm gonna take action in the things I feel that has potential and I like, balancing it out and go from there. I'll end it with this. White people are where they are today because of slavery. They had a tremendous amount of time where they had to just sit under the tree, sit in their porch and think, ponder ideas. Creativity swirls up in you when you have time to reflect and think and put things together and see how they'll come out. This is what makes us human. Being able to imagine something before we have it, so use it, right? And it is not possible for me to do that if I'm putting my head down and doing the same thing over and over again from dusk till dawn. So I'm going to take this approach where I'm going to do this business efficiently, so I have money coming in to pay my bills and a little bit more, and use the rest of the time to read new books, get more creative, and just allowing life to flow through me. And I'm going to start probably with online social media and just technology as a whole. Having that said, guys, see where you are now, see where it's leading to, and give yourself an honest rating. Is that exactly what you want? If it is not the answer, then change your approach. Because in my belief, even in the fucking wilderness, if a tiger didn't have to go out every day and hunt deer to live, they were just given the deer dead in front of them every day, even them would start to create some higher level of complexity, some higher level of creativity. They would just sit under the tree, maybe form clans, build fences, and live at a higher efficient level of means. That's what I want. I want myself to flow through and be more creative, and I'm going to leverage the insurance business to fund my lifestyle. Peace.